why it can be difficult when the narcissistic person finally gives up and leaves the situation and blocks you, discards you, and goes silent and moves on with their life. I want to talk about why it's so difficult and why it hurts. This gets into the science of narcissistic abuse and what it does to you biochemically. Oftentimes in a very difficult, toxic relationship, whether it's with family members or an ex or a partner or a friendship, all of the trauma, all of the turmoil, all the ups and downs of the relationships, it really does trigger all kinds of funky biochemistry. We're talking adrenaline, cortisol. Your levels get spiked like crazy, and you can become used to that. It starts to feed your own body biochemically. And when a narcissistic person finally discards and withdraws and leaves the situation and ignores you and blocks you, it can create a vacuum in your life. It can suddenly take this thing away that's causing all of your biochemistry to go crazy. It's really no different than, for example, a smoker who suddenly stops smoking, cold turkey. Oftentimes this can create a vacuum, a withdrawal symptoms of craving, of wanting. Whether you're trying to get rid of smoking or somebody's trying to get rid of drinking, when you do it suddenly, it creates a vacuum. There's an emptiness. The emptiness is no more than your biochemistry wanting more of that trauma. It's difficult to say, but you have to watch this. If you're not careful, you can find yourself struggling with the addiction to that drama biochemically. The way to beat this, by the way, that comes down to your coping strategies. Your coping strategies coming out of a toxic relationship are the most important thing. We're not talking about eating ice cream and chips and drinking and smoking. That's not coping strategies, all right? Those are self-soothing strategies. Coping strategies have to challenge you, and the reason is, what nobody tells you about coping strategies is coping strategies has to replace that vacuum in your life. Coping strategies are designed and meant to challenge you to replace the biochemistry. So, for example, in my own life, my coping strategies when the narcissistic people stopped interacting with me and went cold and went silent and ignored me and started blocking me, I felt the pull to want to go back and engage with them because I felt that vacuum in my life. But what I discovered is that by doing things in my life that were challenging, things like working out and committing to the workout program, getting a motorcycle and riding my motorcycle, these things are challenging me to grow. Not only are they challenging me to grow, but they're exciting my biochemistry, oftentimes in ways the narcissistic person never could.